Welcome to the channel, viewers. Dr. JWA, theologist since 1994. We are doing the Covert Female Narcissist, episode 21. When you started performing yourself to keep the relationship alive. Love should not make you emotionally compete for warmth already promised to you. At first, the changes inside you felt subtle. You simply became more careful, more observant, more emotionally adaptive. You started learning which version of yourself kept the atmosphere softer, which tone avoided distance, which reaction kept her emotionally engaged, and slowly authenticity started becoming secondary to emotional survival. The room feels usually polished tonight, unusually polished. Her attention feels present, but not fully with you. A notification lights her face briefly. The warmth shifts, then disappears again, and your nervous system notices a change before your thoughts fully catch up to it. And that matters because eventually, covert narcissistic attachment begins producing another layer of psychological captivity. The fear that emotional engagement itself is becoming unstable. Not only in the relationship, the engagement, the attention, the admiration, the emotional energy, and somewhere underneath the emotional conditioning, another underlay quietly starts bleeding through the atmosphere. Something seductive, restless, difficult to fully prove. You begin sensing that a need for emotional stimulation extends beyond the relationship itself. Not always physically, something psychologically wider. The way attention animates her, the way admiration changes the room, the way validation seems to emotionally feed something inside her that intimacy alone never fully satisfies. And that contradiction slowly starts eating you away internally, because part of you keeps trying to deepen the connection, while another part quietly starts wondering who else receives the warmth when it disappears from you. Love should not make your nervous system compete against invisible emotional rivals. But in the case of a relationship with a covert female narcissist, eventually it does. And slowly your behavior starts changing underneath the fear of emotional replacement. You become more emotionally performative, more accommodating, more careful not to lose the engagement. You monitor your appearance differently, your responses differently, your emotional reactions differently. Not because love deepened, but because emotional insecurity quietly entered the bond. The spoon touches the glass softly. Her attention drifts again. You keep talking, but part of your nervous system is already scanning for signs of withdrawal underneath her smile. And that, viewers, is covert female narcissistic captivity, because eventually your emotional safety starts depending on whether you still feel emotionally chosen. And covert female narcissistic dynamics often intensify this instability through admiration hunger, attention stimulation, triangulation undercurrents, seductive emotional ambiguity, intermittent engagement, and emotional comparison pressure. Not always explicitly. Something quieter, a lingering interaction, a carefully timed distance, a subtle emotional availability toward others that leaves your nervous system questioning the security of your place inside the relationship. And slowly betrayal begins forming internally before evidence fully exists externally. Not because you're paranoid, but because your body keeps recognizing emotional instability your mind keeps trying to negotiate with. So you perform harder emotionally, you suppress discomfort faster, you try becoming easier to love, easier to engage, easier to keep, and somewhere inside all that adaptation, you slowly stop noticing how much of the relationship now revolves around preventing emotional displacement. Love, viewers, should not make your worth feel dependent on keeping someone emotionally interested. But with the covert female narcissist, eventually it does. That is the catastrophic part. Not only that, the relationship destabilized you emotionally, but your nervous system slowly became trapped inside. Fear of replacement, fear of abandonment, fear of emotional irrelevance, fear of losing the warmth to someone else, fear that your emotional devotion was never fully secure to begin with. And eventually the relationship starts feeling less like connection and more like emotional auditioning for continued significance. And somewhere underneath all the warmth, attraction, seduction, and emotional engagement, your body quietly starts realizing you were never truly resisting or resting inside secure love. You were surviving inside emotional uncertainty while trying not to lose your place inside it. But viewers, that doesn't work with the covert female narcissist. I'm Dr. J.W. Ayub. Like, share, subscribe, comment to educate me. Press the bell if you like the content, and bye for now.